On News Hour tonight, boat capsizes in Niger, many feared dead. ADC gains Northern supporters, 2027 political battle builds. Kano farmers find relief in local manure as fertilizer prices skyrocket. On the foreign scene, Cameroon's electoral body bars president's main rival from standing. Good evening and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. No fewer than 25 farmers, including women and children, have lost their lives in a boat mishap in Shoro local government area of Niger State. The incident reportedly happened around 2 p.m. on Saturday when the victims were going to Zumba weekly market. The Sarakin Ruwa Zumba, Umar Issa, estimated the number of casualties to be about 25, including women. Issa said the victims were traveling from Guni in Monya local government area to Zumba weekly market in Shiroro local government area when the boat came in contact with a 3-log and capsized. The Director, Information and Special Duties, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Odu Husseini, confirmed the incident but said the agency was yet to get full details of the casualties. Joining us from Niger State is our Trust correspondent in the state, Abubakar Koshi, to give us an update on the incident. Good evening and thank you for joining us on News Hour tonight.
Good evening.
Akoche, can you tell us more about this incident in Niger State?
More details have so far been able to collect this evening that the driver has been found alive, and one of the passengers who was injured and is currently being treated at General Hospital Kuta, while Niger State Emergency Management Agency said search and rescue operations has been launched in collaboration with the local divers to see how the victims will be rescued.
So far, have we been able to get an exact number to how many casualties from this incident?
Both the officials of both operators in the local government, that is Shiro local government, they said even the driver could not establish the number of passengers he took in his boat. But based on the accounts by some relatives who told them of the numbers of their family members in the boat, one of them said he lost 10 people. The other second person said 5 of his family members were there and several others. But for now, they cannot establish the number of people in the boat, and only the driver and one of the passengers have so far been seen. The rest have not been found to know how many people were in the boat. But yes, the Sarikin Umorisa estimated the number of casualties to be about 25 for now.
Were you able to speak with the relatives? Could you tell us, how they've taken to this situation?
Pardon?
Were you able to speak to the relatives of some of these passengers of the boat?
For now, I have not been able to establish contact with the relatives of the victims because today is a market day, which is always a busy day. And the fact that the market is also at its peak when the incident happened, have also made the situation made the officials of the boat operator and residents to not be able to establish until tomorrow morning, as I've been told that they'll be able to give proper details of the incident.
Okay, Kotu, just before you go, apart from the State Emergency Management Agency, has there been any words from the government itself, from the state government?
Government has not responded. I believe Nsema has spoken, that will represent the voice of the state. That's as how they have always operated in the state when it comes to issue of disaster management.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Akote, for your update and subsequent bulletins. Hopefully, you give us more on the situation.
Thank you.
Away from that, 3 persons have died while many others are missing in a boat mishap at the crossing point near the Namnai Bridge, which collapsed last year. Thrust TV learned that the incident happened around 7:20 p.m. on Friday when an Indian boat carrying passengers and vehicles capsized while crossing the Namnya River along the Jalingo-Wukari Road in Taraba. It was learned that the bodies of 3 passengers were brought out from the river while others were rescued, with many still missing. Trust TV also gathered about 4 vehicles on board the boat are still inside the water, while passengers lost their luggage and other belongings to the incident. Since the collapse of Namnai Bridge in September last year, over 60 engine boats were deployed to the river close to the collapsed bridge and engaged in ferrying passengers, vehicles and goods on a daily basis. The chairman, Taraba State Inland Water Transporters, Chitta, while speaking on the incident, confirmed that 3 people died while several others were rescued. A former secretary to the government of the Federation, Mabiche Lawal, has revealed that the National Political Consultative Group, North, has embraced the African Democratic Congress as its preferred opposition platform to challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress in the 2027 elections. Lawal, an ADC chieftain, stated this on Saturday while briefing the press at the end of the 3rd expanded meeting of the National Political Consultative Group, North, held at the Ladi Kwali Hall in Abuja. Lawal said Northerners are determined to elect a leader that caters for their interests. The former SGF noted that representatives from all 19 northern states reached a consensus that President Tinubu's administration is not committed to addressing the region's concerns.
The truth of the matter is that we started out as what we call a consultative forum for northern politicians, but as the momentum was going on, it appears that the whole of the North have decided that they will join ADC. So now the distinction between what the National Political Consultative Group is and the ADC has blurred. So our people have encouraged us, have directed us, and have mandated us to organize ourselves in the manner that we will deliver whatever we want through the ADC. Because as it is, we are of the opinion that this government has no interest in solving problems bedeviling the North, be it infrastructure, be it peace, be it security. So we have to take the ball in our hands and work towards achieving solutions to our problems.
We go over to Kano State, where the government has rolled out reforms aimed at rehabilitating gang members and addressing the root causes of youth violence, particularly phone snatching. Fresh concerns are emerging. With schools across the state beginning their long holiday break, many worry that idle time could increase young people's vulnerability to street violence and gang recruitment. To this end, civil society groups are now calling for greater parental vigilance and sustained collective action. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports. Still in Kano State, in response to the rising cost of fertilizer and delayed rainfall, farmers in the state are turning to local manure as a cheaper alternative. This shift has created an unexpected source of extra income for livestock sellers, while also helping farmers to meet the demand for fertilizer. Trust TV's Ahmed Dati reports from the state.
At the Gandung Albasa livestock market, the post-seller lull in animal sales is being offset by a growing demand for animal waste, now converted into valuable local manure. Livestock sellers say the sales of manure has become a steady income stream, with buyers trooping in daily to purchase truckloads. The chairman of the market, Yusuf Muhammad, explained that the increased demand is largely due to the high cost of fertilizer, which has driven farmers to look for more affordable alternatives.
Because fertilizer is now expensive, manure has become valuable and people come to buy it. Prices vary. A bag goes for between 1,000 and 1,500. For trucks or minivans, we charge 10,000 naira. Everybody is embracing farming these days.
Another seller, Suleiman Yahya, said nearly 10 truckloads of manure have been sold in the past few days alone, a reflection of the growing popularity of the organic alternative among farmers.
There is a growing demand for local manure as more farmers are turning to it. Hardly a day passes without someone coming to buy. Some prepare cow dung, while others want general animal waste. We have both available.
Currently, a bag of urea fertilizer sells for between 47,000 and 50,000 naira, while NPK fertilizer goes for as high as 58,000 naira or more, depending on location, prices that are well beyond the reach of many small-scale farmers. As the rainy season progresses, many farmers are expected to continue relying on locally sourced manure, cut production costs, and sustain their livelihoods.
Still in Kano, a major milestone in Nigeria's constitutional reform process is underway in the state as the Northwest Zone public hearing begins for a two-day session. The Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution is engaging citizens on key amendments aimed at promoting national unity, equity, and development. From calls for the creation of new states to far-reaching judicial reforms, the region's diverse voices are contributing to proposals for a more inclusive and progressive Nigeria. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
It was a day of democratic reflection in Kano as the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution held the Northwest Zonal Public Hearing. Stakeholders from across the region gathered to propose amendments to Nigeria's supreme law focusing on national cohesion, equity, and inclusive governance.
Several key issues we need to address include electoral reforms, judicial reforms, focus on case management and administration, enhancement to local administration, the involvement of traditional institutions in contemporary governance, promoting human rights, ensuring women participation in governance, the devolution and distribution of powers, and concerns related to security and policing.
Various memoranda previously submitted from different parts of the region have been drafted into bills now up for deliberation. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, represented by his Chief of Staff Suleiman Wali, stressed the need for inclusive reforms.
We admonish all and sundry to adopt and imbibe the Kano model of tolerance and accommodation for other communities by leveraging diversity to engender inclusive economic growth, prosperity, and national duty. It, however, should be noted that the creation of states is inevitable if the national mandate is adopted. Kano State wishes to place on record that long-standing aspirations of its people for the creation of the two additional states, Gari and Tiga states. These proposed states are ambitioned to bring governance closer to the people.
Traditional rulers also weighed in. The Wazir in Katsina, Ibrahim Ida, emphasized the crucial role of traditional institutions in governance and national development.
We support very clearly the establishment of a council of traditional rulers of the country, the national. We support it. We have seen the role in the draft bill. What we stand for is we wish the functions are more, but at least the one that we have seen contained in the bill is a good starter. We believe that over time, that more and more, because traditional institutions are institutions that are very useful, but somehow, of whatever reason, they are not being properly or exhaustively utilized. Now, on state creation, we want to say clearly and categorically that Katsina State supports that whichever agitation meets the constitutional requirement of Section 8 and 9 should be considered with favor. In our state, we have two agitations, Bayajida and Karadua, and we said that we support this. Now, women representation, we very strongly advocates that a minimum of 35% of appointments should be given to states.
The hearing continues on Sunday with more draft bills expected to reflect the Northwest's concerns, aspirations and diverse perspectives. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, has ordered a full investigation into the alleged role of the State Commissioner for Transport, Ibrahim Namadi, in the controversial bill of a suspected drug baron, Sulaiman Aminu Donwawu. This followed public outrage after reports claimed the Commissioner's name appeared in documents used to secure the suspect's release. This was contained in a statement on Saturday signed by the Governor's spokesperson, Sanusi Baturi. According to the statement, the Governor has set up a special committee to look into the matter immediately. The committee is chaired by Aminu Hussein, the Governor's Special Advisor on Justice and Constitutional Matters. Governor Yusuf expressed concern over the report and said his administration will not tolerate any form of misconduct or support for criminal activities. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has donated relief materials to victims of banditry in 6 local government areas in Katsina State. Katsina State has been battling to dwarf insecurity with thousands of residents killed, properties worth millions of naira destroyed, while the displaced are struggling to survive humanitarian crisis. Here's more in this report.
Worried about the increasing number of people who lost their means of livelihood as a result of insecurity in Katsina State, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, deployed relief materials to 6 local government areas affected by banditry. At the launch of the distribution, the Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, commended the commitment and resilience exhibited by victims of banditry in Katsina State. The beneficiaries were drawn from Kurfi, Musawa, Bakori, Kankara, Safana, and Sabwa local governments, whose livelihood were disrupted.
I'm here today on behalf of the Federal Government of Nigeria to officially hand over and flag off distribution of the approved relief materials for persons affected by banditry, kidnapping and displacement in Katsina State. As we all know, Katsina State has faced serious challenges over the years, especially banditry and kidnapping, as witnessed recently in 6 local government areas of Musawa, Kurfi, Safana, Bakori, Sabwa and Kankara. Despite these trials, the resilience and resolve of its people remain a beacon of hope.
This donation further highlights the need for various complementary efforts in rebuilding and rehabilitating communities affected by banditry and kidnapping for ransom across Katsina State. Receiving the relief materials for onward distribution to the beneficiaries, the Executive Secretary, Katsina State Emergency Management Agency, Binta Dangani, enumerated various supports received from the federal government through NEMA, which played significant impact in resettling victims of banditry. The Katsina State SEMA Executive Secretary also highlighted the crucial role the intervention plays toward cautioning the effect of various disasters, including fire and flooding in Katsina State.
The local government that will receive this assistance today, are Kurfi, Safana, Musa, Bakuri, Sabwa, and Kankara local government area. The food items include rice, maize, millet, vegetable oil, Maggi, among other foodstuffs. Your Excellency, Sir, the Governor of Katsina State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the donation of relief materials by NEMA to victims of banditry, flood, fire, and other forms of disaster in Katsina State symbolize deep sympathy for people severely affected by such disaster and also enrich the essence of multi-sectoral stakeholders' approach to disaster management and mitigation by NEMA.
In a significant response to the gesture, some of the beneficiaries demand immediate restoration of fees that could guarantee all year-round agricultural activities in their communities instead of the food donations.
I want to use this singular honor to appreciate the donors of these relief materials given to us and also call on both the federal and the state governments to emphasize on restoring peace in our communities rather than these donations.
This gesture will in no small way cushion the effects of some difficulties we are facing, especially at this crucial time of rainy season. But all the same, I want to passionately appeal to the relevant authorities to end insecurity in our communities.
Public commentators in Katsina State highlight the need for proactive response to insecurity in the Northwest region to salvage the already fragile communities from imminent collapse.
In Lagos State, officials of the Environmental Sanitation Corps have arrested a woman for allegedly adulterating yam flour, known in local parlance as ilubo ishu, with harmful coloring agents. The arrest was disclosed on Friday by the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, via his official X handle. Wahab said the suspect, identified as Mrs. Kehinde Raji, was apprehended following a tip-off from the chairman of the Ilubo Sellers Association, who raised an alarm about dangerous food adulteration practices within the market. According to the commissioner, the suspect was allegedly mixing spoiled yam flour with hazardous coloring chemicals to produce contaminated ilubo, which was then sold to unsuspecting consumers. He said the suspect will be prosecuted in accordance with relevant laws. We also launch to News Hour on Trust TV. After the break, polio can't stop him. We tell you the inspirational story of Kaduna shoemaker breaking barriers. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now we'll look at some of our top stories. We told you that boat has capsized in Niger State and many are feared dead. Also told you that ADC has gained northern support as 2027 political battle builds. Two more stories. Despite fiscal challenges and lack of support, a polio survivor has found solace in shoemaking, a trade he relies on to cater for his family and sustain his farming activities. This is the story of Joshua Matthew, a native of Koda local government area, now residing in Kokuri, Kaduna State with his family. Trust TV's Bello Musa tells us more.
Joshua Matthew says he took up shoemaking after surviving polio at a young age.
I learned this work when I was 20 years old. After I have this challenge, after I have a problem with my leg, that is why I decided to go and learn this shoemaking. Yes, I'm 10 secondary school, and I also I do many courses. Yes, I do many courses. I have a certificate on Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity.
After working on his farm using a modified tricycle, Joshua heads to his small workshop where he makes and repairs shoes for customers in the community.
My success story here is that, honestly, I used to sell this shoe in different places. People from other places used to come and buy shoe on this. Used to come and buy shoe here. That is my best success because I used to get money through this. The money I used to get, I used to feed my family on it. People from different places within Kaduna here, they used to come here and buy shoe with me here.
Despite his physical condition, he continues to enjoy steady patronage from residents who admire his craftsmanship and resilience.
Most of the people, as they see me here, some people they have happy to come and bring work for me, because the way I used to do the work for them, I used to do the work perfectly. So many people do not think about it. Many people used to come to me here and repair their shoe here.
But while his skill is not in doubt, the rising cost of living and lack of proper support have made running the business increasingly difficult.
Honestly, the cost of materials affect my business, because sometimes the materials that I used to buy them before, maybe now I used to buy them because of the costly, because of how the materials become very costly in the market. But because by that time I used to buy it in bulk, but because of things, economic challenges now, I used to buy things in petty things.
Joshua is appealing to government and relevant organizations to provide training and support for people living with disabilities, especially those who are skilled and willing to work to improve their lives. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Quite a very inspiring story that nothing can stop you if you put your mind to it. Away from that, President Bola Tinubu has been called upon to prioritize the creation of cottage industries across Nigeria's 774 local government councils as a sustainable measure to reduce economic hardship and unemployment, especially in rural communities. Members of the 1999 class of governors made the call during a custom visit to the President at the State House, Abuja. The report.
The delegation led by Loki Benediyon, the former governor of Edo State, included James Ibori of Delta State, Ni Adebayo of Ikiti, Adamu Mwazu of Bauchi, Joshua Daria of Plateau, Victor Atta from Akwa Ibom, Adamu Alero Kebbi, Sam Egu Ibonyi, Jolly Nyame of Taraba, Boni Haruna of Adamawa, Saminu Turaki Jigawa, Donald Duke of Cross River, and George Akume from Benue. Addressing newsmen after the closed-door meeting, Igbeni De Jong said the visit was an opportunity for the group to share perspectives with the president on pressing national issues, particularly security, economic hardship, and food security. He praised President Bola Tinubu for being receptive to their views and for committing to sustaining an open-door policy for continued engagement on national development. He noted that Tinubu showed deep concern about the issues raised and welcomed their suggestions on how to bring succor to the people, particularly those grappling with poverty in rural areas.
Well, like you said, we came to see one of our own, a class of 99, and to bring about topics about the state of the nation. We are glad that Mr. President received us warmly, and we spoke basically about the security and the situation of the nation, the economy, and of course agriculture. The president showed his concern about these various issues that we came to discuss with him, and we also provide our own solutions about how he can go about bringing about succor to the people, that the people, especially in the rural areas, are feeling the impact of the harsh economy. And he assured us that he's looking into it.
According to him, a decentralized model of micro industries across the country's 774 local governments will provide a more enduring solution to poverty and hunger and periodic cash handouts.
Let's create industries, especially cottage industries, that can employ people rather than just giving out palliatives. We employed on him to try as much as possible to create cottage industries in all the local governments of the Federation where people can be employed.
The 1999 class of governors hold a special place in Nigeria's democratic history, having emerged as the first elected set of state executives following the country's return to civilian rule.
A mother and her baby were injured in the early hours of Saturday when an uncompleted three-story building collapsed in Umuahia, Abia State. The other 5 members of their family who were in a nearby bungalow hit by the collapsing structure also escaped death. The building is located around Olokoro Road, Federal Low Cost Housing Estate, Ohobafara, Umuahia. Residents in the area who spoke to the newsmen on Saturday said the uncompleted building collapsed around 3 a.m. on Saturday, destroying a nearby bungalow house and a family of 7. An eyewitness reported that although no life was lost, a nursing mother, her 5-month-old baby, and another individual are currently hospitalized for sustained injuries. In the meantime, the Umuahia Capital Development Authority has sealed the premises of the 3-story building to pave way for an investigation to ascertain the cause of the building collapse. Over in Anambra State, the government has dismantled and shut a notorious baby factory syndicate masquerading as a hospital in Umuahia, Oyi local government area of the state, in a sting operation against human trafficking. The illegal facility operating under the name Mother and Child Hospital and Maternity, located at 1 School Road near Tansen University, Umuahia, was sealed on Saturday in an exercise that began on Friday after months of surveillance and intelligence gathering. During the raid carried out by the state government officials from the Ministry of Health in collaboration with security agencies, key staff and operatives of the facility, including 5 pregnant women and 10 other persons, were arrested after it was discovered that the facility was being used for medical malpractices. Addressing journalists after storming the premises, the State Commissioner for Health, Afam Obidike, said the so-called hospital was found to be operating with a falsified license and was owned by a self-proclaimed medical doctor who is a native of Delta State. Obidike confirmed that the syndicate was involved in the trafficking and exploitation of young girls aged between 15 and 21, adding that many of the victims were reportedly held against their will and forced into pregnancies, with newborns sold into illegal adoption rings. Still in the state, many persons fared dead on Friday as a tipper lost control and rammed into bystanders along Chisco Park Junction in Amici, Newi South local government area of the state. The spokesperson for the Federal Road Safety Corps in Anambra, Margaret Onabe, who confirmed the incident on Saturday, noted that the sector command was gathering details about the crash. Onabe promised more details when the information was ready. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses say the fatal accident occurred around 9:30 p.m. when the driver of the truck experienced brake failure and, in an attempt to control the vehicle, crashed into pedestrians on the roadside, resulting in multiple fatalities. According to them, some passengers were waiting to board vehicles when the trailer uncontrollably rammed into them, knocking many down. In the South, the Bayelsa State Environmental Sanitation Authority has arrested over 50 persons for violating sanitation laws during the month's environmental sanitation exercise in the state capital of Yenagoa. Among those apprehended were abattoir operators caught roasting goat meat with motor tires, an unhygienic and harmful practice considered hazardous to public health. Trust TV's Friday Mbowe Peter tells us more in this report.
The last Saturday of every month is set aside for environmental sanitation across Bayelsa State. On that day, residents are expected to remain indoors and participate in cleaning activities. However, this month, some individuals were seen playing football and moving around in vehicle in defiance of the directives. At the Pansha market, some traders stressed the importance of a clean environment and urged the state government to clear the blocked drainage system in the market to allow proper water flow.
Like on a normal Saturday, everybody used to clean their place, but when it's this kind of environmental day, it's a general cleanup.
And the drainage, that is our major problem. The drainage is not working. If the drainage works and the water is not standing, I think this market is one of the markets that is helping Bayelsa State. Please, I want you people to help me.
As for instance, every day, every Saturdays we are here selling, looking for our own stomach. But sometimes our women, we do leave the place, leave everything dirty. The advice to my fellow market women is that please, as you are coming here, keep your place neat.
Speaking to newsmen, the chairman of Bayelsa State Environmental Sanitation Authority, Timothy Dekivie, advised residents to take ownership of their surroundings by keeping them clean. He warned against indiscriminate waste disposal and blockage of drainages, citing the environmental and health risks involved.
You see, I said for you, so this place go back called green area. Green area, they says that nobody is supposed to stand here.
So you understand?
This place, nobody is supposed to stand here. They're supposed to plant flower, fine flower for these parts. That's what government designed this place for. But now you have gone beyond standing to whom be selling and making money for yourself. Kill the flower, finish it. Kill all the grass, finish. Sit down here, they sell orange, they sell pineapple, they sell watermelon. When I finish, I can't leave it for us again. Is that good? No. As you come to that, there's some people there. So next sanitation, please do your house. Clean your environment.
Dekivi also visited the Environmental Sanitation Mobile Court, where the arrested violators were being prosecuted for breaching sanitation law. From Yenagwa, Friday, Ebumobowe Peter, Trust TV News.
The Senate arm of the National Association of Polytechnic Students, NAPS, has expressed concern over the distractions and narratives designed to discredit the leadership of Lukman Adegoke Awabiaka, Director of Federal Polytechnic, Ekowe, Bayelsa State. The NAPS Senate President, Oyewumi Festus, made this known at a press conference held at the Polytechnic Ibadan, Oyo State, while frowning at any attempt to derail genuine developmental progress or to instigate chaos for personal or political reasons. He stressed that NAPS recognizes the constitutional rights of unions to agitate for welfare and institutional concerns, noting that the Federal Polytechnic Ekowe has suffered years of infrastructural decay and economic setbacks, challenges which Agbabiaka's administration has boldly taken on since assumption of office.
Senate arm of National Association of Polytechnic Students expresses deep concern over the recent distraction and sponsored narrative by elements within the non-academic staff union, seemingly designed to discredit the leadership of Dr. Lukman Agbabiaka, Rector of Federal Polytechnic, Ekowe. While NAPS recognizes the constitutional right of unions to agitate for rights and welfare of national concern, we frown at any attempt to derail from genuine developmental progress or to instigate chaos for personal or political reasons. Federal Polytechnic Ekowe has suffered years of infrastructural decay and academic setback. In the little time spent in office, Dr. Agbabiaka has revived the Polytechnic spirit with tangible evidence of transformation, including procurement of dedicated power generating sets, restoring laboratory and workshop practicals after 2 years of total blackout.
Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Education has denied claims that it announced 12 years of age as the minimum age requirement for admission into junior secondary schools, JSS. There were reports that the ministry in a policy document set the new minimum age for admission for JSS1 at 12 years. The reports claim the policy is concerned with the non-state schools, also known as private schools. It also said the ministry added that nursery school admission would be 3-year-olds and above. Reacting in a recent statement, Folashade Boriowo, the ministry spokesperson, denied the report, saying it was entirely inaccurate. She added that it did not come from any official source and did not reflect government's policy. Boriowo urged the public and education stakeholders to disregard any contrary claims. As the Kano State government rolls out reforms aimed at rehabilitating gang members and addressing the root causes of youth violence, particularly phone snatching, fresh concerns are emerging. With schools across the state beginning their long holiday break, many worry that idle time could increase young people's vulnerability to street violence and gang recruitment. To this end, civil society groups are now calling for greater parental vigilance and sustained collective action. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim tells us more in this report.
In recent years, many neighborhoods in Kano have lived under the threat of youth gang clashes that have turned some communities into hotspots of violence and fear. With the start of the school holidays, some residents believe the break signals not just a pause from academics, but also a period when unsupervised children could fall prey to street gangsterism. Calls are growing for parents to remain vigilant and ensure their children are occupied with productive activities.
To akwai izina da kuma abubuwan da ya kamata iyaye su sa idanu akai, musamman ma irin wannan lokacin na hutu na yara.
During this holiday period, parents should ensure their children are engaged. If they can afford it, they can enroll them in extra lessons. Personally, I've taken my children to learn my trade instead of letting them roam the streets. In our youth forums, we encourage others to take this holiday period as an opportunity to learn a trade. Youth violence is a serious problem, and it requires the cooperation of everyone in society. At a recent gathering in July 2025, over 75 civil society groups highlighted both societal and systemic failures as drivers of youth crime. These include broken homes, poor parental supervision, unemployment, drug abuse, and a decline in religious and cultural values. Also mentioned were weak community security structures and a lack of youth-focused rehabilitation programs. In response, the Kano State government says it is adopting a new approach under the Operation Safe Corridor initiative, focusing on rehabilitation and peace building. At the heart of this initiative is an amnesty program aimed at reforming gang members and offering them vocational training and reintegration support.
We've been able now to identify some critical gangs in the state, or different communities of gangs in the state that actually involved in perpetrating some of these some of the crimes. And we've been able at the same time also to identify the leaders. At the same time also we've been able to identify some influential within each of the community of a gang. And we've been talking with them, and we have been now we have already brought them on board, and we have already established a partnership with them, talking to them, trying to get some information from them, very vital information that can really help in actually taking up of the project, because we believe that they really need to be part of the solution-driven agenda, because they are the victims and they are also the actors in the whole thing.
Observers, including civil society and state-level monitoring mechanisms, stress that the success of these programs will depend not on promises, but on practical, sustained implementation.
And we are also going to play the role of checking if the government says they're going to do. Has it been done? If it has been done, is it okay? How can we get feedback? So that when we want to do our scorecard, we now rate the government as funds have been released, funds have been used, and outcomes are evident.
I can be rest assured rather that this kind of engagement on issues that are that are of concern to Kano, especially issues of phone snatching that has led to several loss of lives, injuries and all that. I think it's timely. And of course, if you listen to the proceedings, you will bear me witness that constructive suggestions, recommendations have been provided.
As the school holidays continue, the responsibility now rests on parents, communities, and the government to work together to shield Kano's children from the grip of gangsterism. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
The remains of the Emir of Gusau, Ibrahim Bello, have been laid to rest in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. The respected monarch passed away in a private hospital in Abuja on Friday morning after a prolonged illness. He died at the age of 71, having spent a decade on the throne. The report.
Thousands of mourners gathered at the Kenwiri Jumaat Mosque near the late monarch's palace to pay their final respects. The crowd included royalty, political leaders, religious clerics, and ordinary citizens, united in grief and reverence. They came to honor a leader widely admired for his compassion, humility, and service to the people. Among the dignitaries present were Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal and his deputy Mani Mumuni, among others. Governor Dauda Lawal paid glowing tribute to the late Emir, describing his death as a monumental loss not just to Zamfara State but the nation.
It's a very, very sad moment for the entire people of Zamfara State, and we know this is inevitable, but we have to deal with it. So I'm extending my sincere condolences to the entire people of Zamfara State and the entire country in general for this big loss of our father, our leader, late Emir of Gusau, Dr. Ibrahim Bello.
Chairman of the Zamfara State Councils of Chiefs, Atahiru Ahmad, described the late Emir as a sincere and approachable leader who was always available to his people.
People should emulate him, especially the younger generation, because he's a strong head. He's a simple man. He cannot move with any aura of authority. He's simple, approachable anytime.
A traditional title holder in the Gusau Emirate, Mukhtar Ahmad, said the passing of the emir is a colossal loss to Nigeria. He praised the late monarch's simplicity, humility and inclusive nature.
The death of the emir of Gusau is a great loss to not only the Emirate Council, the people of Zamfara, but Nigeria at large. The emir is a simple, always ready to counsel his people, always ready to entertain any task, always ready to advise both the warring and the defeated. He is always ready to seek for help from anywhere. His loss is a great loss to not just his family, but to all of us.
To many, the late Emir of Gusau was not just a leader, but a father figure to many, who say his legacy of humility and dedication will live on. Before ascending the throne, Ibrahim Bello had a distinguished career in the civil service, rising to the position of permanent secretary in the old Sokoto state. He also served in various political capacities, including as Commissioner of Animal Health and Husbandry. The late Emir held a master's degree in primary health care, a testament to his commitment to public service and human development.
In business, the Nigerian Exchange NGX has suspended trading the shares of MRS Oil Nigeria PLC effective Friday, 25th July 2025, halting further transactions in the stock. The move follows the company's decision to voluntarily delist from the NGX, a plan that received shareholder approval at an extraordinary general meeting held on June 25, 2024. In a fresh bulletin addressed to trading license holders and the investing public, the NGX, through a statement signed by Gostam Iweneke, the head of the Issuer Regulation Department, explained that the suspension was necessary to pave the way for the delisting process. This comes despite a strong performance in 2024 when the company reported a profit after tax of 6.49 billion naira, representing a 2.2 year-on-year growth. Following its delisting, MRS Oil plans to list its shares on the NASD OTC over-the-counter, that's what it means, Securities Exchange, allowing interested investors to continue trading the stock in the over-the-counter market. Fiber One, the leading broadband provider in Nigeria, has sounded the alarm over the country's deepening internet infrastructure gap, revealing that inadequate broadband access costs Nigeria an estimated $15 billion annually in lost economic opportunities. This revelation was made known by Yinka Isioye, Chief Experience Officer of Fiber One, during his keynote address at the 21st edition of the Titans of Tech Conference, Expo and Awards held in Lagos. Isioye emphasized the critical role of broadband in catalyzing national development, likening its importance to that of oxygen in sustaining life. Despite its undeniable relevance, Isioye lamented that over 60% of Nigerians and more than 70% of Africans still lack access to reliable internet connectivity, leaving millions unable to participate in today's digital economy. Sharing a personal anecdote, he recounted losing a transformative career opportunity due to poor internet speeds. He referenced World Bank findings, which show that a 10% increase in broadband penetration can generate up to 1.4% GDP growth in developed nations. Away from Nigeria, Cameroon's Electoral Commission, ELCAM, on Saturday announced that opposition politician Maurice Kamto was barred from contesting the October 12 presidential polls. The renowned university professor and former government minister was widely seen as the most serious challenger to long-standing President Paul Biya. ELCAM said Kamto had failed to comply with legal requirements by accepting a nomination from the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, which boycotted legislative and municipal elections in 2020. It says that under Section 121 of the Electoral Code, this means the movement is no longer eligible to put forward a candidate. Kamto had come in second place with 14% of the vote in the last elections in 2018, which Biya won by a landslide amid allegations of fraud. 71-year-old's exclusion raises the risk of protest and leaves just 12 out of the more than 80 applicants hoping to replace the 92-year-old Biya in the field. Still in Africa, Central African Republic's President Faustin Archange on Saturday said he will run for a third term later this year, seeking to extend his rule into a second decade after scrapping term limits in 2023. Since taking office in 2016, Touadéry has enlisted outside forces to stay in power amid persistent civil conflict, including mercenaries from Russia's Wagner militia who intervened in 2018 on the side of the government. Central African Republic, roughly the size of France with a population of around 5.5 million, is deeply impoverished despite being rich in resources including gold, diamonds and timber. Touadéry won the second term in 2020, though militants including the Coalition of Patriots for Change, CPC, have fought to overturn that result. Touadéry's current term was supposed to be his last, but in 2023 the country held a constitutional referendum that abolished the two-term limit and extended the presidential mandate from 5 to 7 years. Opposition parties and civil society groups have said the new constitution, which was backed by more than 95% of voters, could allow Touadéry to stay in power for life. In the sports scene, the 14th African Arm Wrestling Championship has ended in Abuja with various countries participating in different kilogram categories. Trust TV sports correspondent Adini Ajishafa has more.
19 nations converged to compete in arm wrestling at the Indoor Sport Hall Package B MK Abiola Stadium in the junior, youth and senior event. In the 85-kilogram left arm final, Chris Toche of Cameroon defeated Togolese Abdul Jibril with so much energy on display. In the women 80-kilogram category, Nigeria Olubisi Oyewusi edged Ghanaian Albasa Ampoma in another contest. Extra effort from Nigerian Stephen Tobiloba earned him gold in the youth category, while scooping silver and bronze in other events. Orji Precious could not hide her joy for winning gold medal after switching from para-powerlifting to arm wrestling.
Because this is a new game, and it doesn't matter if you are old or young. So para-arm wrestling is a power game.
Gold medalist in the left arm youth category believes arm wrestling has come to stay in Africa.
Come join arm wrestling, stay consistent and never give up. Arm wrestling is going to the next level. We are taking it to the next level.
ASP Timbila, Director of Sport Police Ghana, focus more on her team's performance.
When you follow the performance of the Ghanaian team, you realize that we came with quality and not quantity. And because of that, when you look at the kind of awards we won and the kind of competition, you realize it was real competition with proper awards being won.
Senior Special Assistant to the President of Grassroots Sport, Adeyinka Adeboye, explains of the gains of hosting such event in Nigeria.
Was brought into this country, arm wrestling, and we give thanks to Almighty God. We are given the hosting right to host, and we didn't disappoint. We should thank everybody here, especially the media, for doing a very good job for Nigeria to be known in this non-known sport that we call arm wrestling. Today, Nigeria is proud to hold this tournament, and God willing, we have a lot to do again to host a lot of tournaments in our country.
Arm wrestlers celebrate in ecstasy as they receive their medals after conquering in different divisions while appreciating the host, Nigeria. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Just before we go, an update on the ongoing final between Nigeria and Morocco at the Women's African Cup of Nations. The game is at 2-0 with Morocco leading. It's at halftime as well. And that ends News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do follow us on our social media platforms and our YouTube live stream. I'm Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.